And welcome back to Hannity. So during last night's GOP debate, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush, well, he got pretty fiery as he promoted his track record, defended his family, and even took on one of his biggest critics. Watch this.
I have a proven record of conservative leadership, where I cut taxes $19 billion over 8 years. We shrunk the state government workforce. We created a climate that led the nation in job growth 7 out of 8 years. He wanted casino gambling in Florida.
I didn't want
Yes, you did.
Totally false.
You wanted it, and you didn't get it because I was
it.
opposed to casino gambling before, during, and after. And that's not, I'm not going to be bought by anybody.
Promise.
You're proud of your family, just as I am.
Correct.
To subject my wife into the middle of a raucous political conversation was completely inappropriate, and I hope you apologize for that, Donald. We don't have to be the world's policeman, but we certainly have to be the world's leader. We need to make sure that the world knows that we're serious, that we're engaged, that we're not going to pull back, that our word matters.
Joining us now with a recap of his debate performance, the man himself, 2016 hopeful, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Governor, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great, Sean. Hope you are as well.
But by all accounts, everyone thinks you did a lot better than the first debate. How do you feel about the format, the debate? You said this about him. You said that about her. And on and on. Do you like that, or is it productive, not productive?
Look, it's ratings driven, I think, and it's entertaining, and all that's okay. But it's not a debate per se. A debate would be where you actually can complete a sentence and have the ability to interact with people. But it was great. I enjoyed it a lot, and it was certainly a chance for me to lay out my record and to point out some of the differences, particularly with Donald Trump, who's been saying things about me that aren't true. And so I had a good time doing it.
Yeah. What do you say? I mean, there was a lot of back and forth between you and Donald Trump. It seemed the media, both of you got the most time. He got a little more time than you did, but you two had the most time of any of the other candidates during the debate. What is your relationship with him like? And is it contentious? Are there things that you don't like? You asked him to apologize, for example, last night. He said he would not.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I have big problems with his lack of interest in learning about the job of being president of the United States. I have problems that it concerns me that he gets his foreign policy information watching the shows. A lot of things concern me about him, but I don't hold any animus against the guy. I don't. In the breaks, he seems like a nice person. His children are good people. Everybody says that, and so I don't hold any kind of personal problem with the guy at all. But I do think that he needs to be challenged, like all of us, about what our experience is to be president of the United States. This is a big, serious job, and you have to have the skills necessary to lead.
What is going on in your mind when you see the top two people in the polls right now never held any political office, and in a field of 16, they get over 50% of primary voters, at least in terms of the polls? We're 4.5 months away. That's an eternity in politics. But what does it tell you?
Well, it is an eternity, and we've just started to advertise, and I'm campaigning hard, and I'm confident as we move forward that they'll do fine. But it is something that I think you have to respect, and that is that people are deeply, deeply angry about the dysfunction in Washington. And I can tell the story that I was a disruptor in Tallahassee. I turned the whole place upside down, and things got better because I did it. The things that people want in Washington, I did in Tallahassee. Career civil service reform, lobbying reform, making sure that government didn't grow faster than people's ability to pay for it. All the things that I got to do, I could bring to Washington because I have the experience to do it. But I've got to go tell people that. That's my job. That's my responsibility.
Governor, I've looked at your Florida record. I've discussed a lot of these issues with you. You governed as a very solid conservative. You created a lot of jobs. You cut taxes. I don't remember the exact number. You probably do. A number of times.
19 billion.
What's that?
Yeah, every year.
All right, you went up to a AAA bond rating, which is an enormous success. You even were the first governor to institute state vouchers, a school voucher system. And whenever your name comes up on social media, it always immediately races to immigration and Common Core. I think you know that that's true, right? What is your answer to those people that doubt your conservative credentials because of those two issues?
Listen to me talk about education, where we had the greatest gains in learning of any state in the country. by comprehensively challenging the teachers union, the bureaucracy, and creating school choice and eliminating social promotion, higher standards with real accountability created the greatest learning gains. Listen to me explain that I've never said that the federal government should have any say in the creation of content or curriculum or standards. This should be a state responsibility that is implemented at the local level. Listen to me, and I think people begin to know that when they see what I've done and see what I believe, that there should be no concerns at all. As it relates to immigration, 3 years ago I wrote a book about it called Immigration Wars that sets out a clear strategy to secure the border, to deal with the problems that are real. I get why people are angry. This administration is an administration that has done absolutely nothing to secure the border. And Obama's used this as a wedge issue. Yeah. Hillary Clinton wants to use it as a wedge issue. I think we need to get beyond that.
Our intelligence agencies tell us that there is zero doubt in their minds that they believe that Syrian, Iraqi refugees will be infiltrated by ISIS and al-Qaeda. The president's bringing at least 10,000 into this country. Bad idea?
It's a bad idea if there's no screening. And I for one, think that we should take every Christian Iraqi and every Christian Syrian who are in a situation right now that if they stay where they are, they'll be killed. That's the
how do we ascertain
the world that a Christian lives in the Middle East with Islamic terrorism? We have a duty, I think, to help people, but the best way to solve this problem is to lead the world in creating a third way, which is to eliminate ISIS from the face of the earth and to remove Assad so that there could be a stable Syria. It is a tragedy that 11 million people have been displaced in a country of 23 million, and 250,000 probably have died under the brutality of the Assad regime.
What about Kim Davis? That came up last night. You said she must respect the rule of law.
Yeah.
Didn't her job description change, though? In other words, she was hired to do one job. That job description changed. She's obviously a person of deep faith and conviction and conscience. And the woman spent 6 days in jail. And, there's been talk about, I can't imagine that if somebody held a liberal position in government that they would lose their job or be sent to jail like that.
They have a duty to enforce the law, and the law did change. But there's a way to have accommodations for someone that is clearly acting on her religious conscience. It was clear when last Monday morning, when she spoke from her heart. There's a deep abiding faith there. This isn't made up. And the First Amendment protects her right to have a conscience based on a set of values that comes from her. In her case, her belief that Jesus is her Savior. And I think there ought to, a big, tolerant country like ours, we ought to find some accommodation. It may require the Kentucky legislature to change the law, but it ought to be done. This is something that can be worked out in Kentucky and every other place where it plays out. What we shouldn't do, though, is to say you can't have religious conscience. As Hillary Clinton has said, basically, you can have your religious views in the church pews or at your home, but don't act on those views in the public square. That is a violation of the First Amendment of our of our Constitution.
Governor, thank you for being with us, and congrats on a good night last night.